My friends, what's going on everyone? My name is Kai. Welcome to my channel, Life of Kai. Okay, so today's video is going to be really exciting. I've had some requests to do this video for quite a while, and recently I made a new friend, my friend Kitaro. He is a big Famicom collector, and so am I, so it's time for me to finally show off some of my Famicom collection. Guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learn a little bit about the Nintendo Famicom. It's an amazing system that you should definitely get into. I just want to dedicate this video to my buddy Kitaro. This one's for you, bud. Other than that, guys, let's get right into it. So, this is the Nintendo Famicom. If you've never seen it before, this is the original Japanese Nintendo Entertainment System. It came out in Japan in 1982, 3 years earlier than here in North America, but it was an amazing system, absolutely groundbreaking, just amazing. It is responsible for video games today as we know it, you know? So for me, being able to collect for it, it's really fun. I love playing these old games because I love seeing the building blocks of what we have now, back in the early days, you know? I'm not a big fan of things like Atari or Intellivision. I think those games are a little too primitive for me. You have to use your imagination a little too much for those games. Whereas the NES, the Famicom, when 8-bit stuff came out, you really started to see games take shape, and your imagination could, you could use your imagination very well with a lot of these places. So, guys, I have a few games that I'd like to talk about, several games I'd like to talk about, a couple accessories that I have. I have a huge Famicom collection. When I moved to Japan for the very first time, I wanted to collect a bunch of different pieces of Nintendo history, right? And I wasn't even necessarily big on collecting for the Famicom. When I grew up, when I was young, I had a Sega Genesis. That was my very first system, so I don't really have too much tied to it. And then, but there was this one game that I really wanted to get. It was called Takeshi's Challenge. It's a very famous game online for being one of the worst games ever made. And I wanted to get it. I've seen the JonTron video about it. I've seen several other retrospective videos about it. And for myself, I was like, you know what? I want to get this game. I'm just gonna get it, right? So I bought it. I found it complete in box, and I also found the, when I bought it, I was lucky enough to also find the guidebook, which is really funny. Now, if you don't know about this game, I highly suggest watching the JonTron video on it. I can't do a better video than that, but this game is on purpose made to be as confusing and nonsensical as possible. As the story goes, the star of the game, Takeshi Kitano, he's a very famous comedian in Japan, and the story goes that Taito, I believe it was Taito, yes, Taito. Taito approached him and said, hey, we want to make you into a video game. And he said, yeah, apparently he hated video games. And he said, okay, but I want to design the entire playthrough of it. I want to be very hands-on, and whatever I say goes. And Taito was like, yeah, sure. I mean, go for it. It's 1984, 1985. The system's pretty new at that point, and he's one of the biggest stars in Japan. So, as the story goes, he went to a bar in Osaka, and he went with the Taito executives, and he just kept spouting off random nonsense while he was drinking, and that way the game came out absolutely ridiculously convoluted, and it's just a funny game. So I really wanted to get it. So I bought it, and I was really happy with it. But then while I was purchasing this, I found another game here. This game here really intrigued me. This is King Kong Megaton Punch. Really good Konami game. I'm astonished that it didn't come out for the Nintendo Entertainment System, because it's a really solid game. It's a really solid game. But I saw this, and this was only about $30, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this, and I think I'm gonna get into collecting for the system, right? So these were the two games that got me big time into collecting for the Nintendo Famicom. But at this point, still, now I've got two games, and I don't have a Famicom, I don't have anything like that. Where do I even begin, right? So I was in Akihabara, which is like the mecca of video games in the entire world. It's in Japan, it's in Tokyo. Amazing place to go if you are a gamer, or even if you love anime, gachapon stuff, arcades, anything like that. Akihabara is like a pilgrimage that you must make one day in your life. It is absolutely phenomenal. But I was walking around there, and there's a lot of video game shops there, a lot. And right behind the main street, there is a big kind of fake market. It's like I call it the China market, but it's a bunch of stuff that you can get, electronics, game stuff, all that, but it's all fake, or they're counterfeit, you know? But while I was there, I found this guy here. Should have done this earlier. Oh, I found this guy. So, this is a portable Famicom. And when I saw this, I was like, oh hell yeah, a portable Famicom. I can play the games that I just got. So this is what it looks like. It's nothing too special, but you can plug a Famicom game into it. You can plug a Famicom game into it and play as you want. It's got turbo buttons on it, which is great. And one thing that's amazing about this little handheld is it actually has AV cables. It actually has AV cables, so I figured if I purchase this, because it was only like $40 or something, I figured if I purchase this, then I can not only play the games out and about, you know, I can go to the store with this, pop the game in, try it for a little bit, see if I like it, so I started doing that, and then the collecting started. The very first time I went to Japan, I've been to Japan 3 times now, and the first time I was in Japan, I was really collecting for the PSP, but I started picking up a couple Famicom games, right? Now, I have over 100 Famicom games, and it's a lot of fun. So guys, that is my history of how I started collecting for it. Eventually I did find a AV Famicom that I'm very happy with. This thing is modded. This version usually used coaxial cables, because it came out in 1982, right? It used coaxial cables, but you can get them modded, so you can play them on an AV cable. So I started collecting for it, and that's where it began. So guys, I've got some really cool games in my collection. I don't want to make this video, you know, 3 hours long by going through every single one of my games. I will, at the end, lay all my games out on my floor and do like a camera pan of it so you can see what I've got. But there are a couple games that I want to talk about that are really cool, really special, very unique, stuff like that. But first, I have a cool accessory to show you. I have a really cool accessory to show you. One thing that was great about the Famicom is there are so many accessories for it, because it was kind of like the first of its time, right? So everybody was jumping in to make stuff. One thing that I'm very happy that I got was this. This is the ASCII stick. It's essentially, here, this is what it looks like there. It's essentially just the turbo joystick that you can get for the normal Nintendo, but it is the Japanese version. It's the very first one. Very cool box art on it, and I mean, this is what I love about the Nintendo Famicom. It was in a time where you really had to use your imagination. So if you see this on the front cover of the box, you're gonna think to yourself, good lord, like, I can operate a mech. And then you see what it actually is, and it's just a simple joystick, you know? But this is what I love about the Famicom. The accessories, everything like that. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. If you can find them in the box, they are beautiful. Okay, so let's get into some of my box stuff. I don't have too much box stuff. I prefer to collect for the Famicom just loose copies. Because you can use, the box stuff is usually pretty expensive. If you can find a fully boxed game with the little manual that it came with and the inserts and stuff, it'll usually drive the price up 3 or 4 times, you know? A great example of that is this game that I'd like to show you here. This is Hitler no Fukatsu. It is a Nintendo game that has Hitler on the front cover of it. This was obviously not allowed to be released in the United States and in Canada, so what they did is they changed up the story of it a little bit, and they turned it into Bionic Commando. Right? But this is a perfect example of expensive games. So, the loose version of this game, you can usually get, it's a very expensive game. You can usually get it for about $80 to $100 for it loose. However, if you can get it in a box, complete with the manual inside, everything like that, it's worth over $500 American. Unbelievable. It is the grail of my collection. I just think that it's so fascinating that Nintendo, right? Nintendo, the family-friendly Nintendo, right, would have a game that is about killing Hitler with Hitler on the front cover. You know, that's just wild to me. That's just wild to me. I want to give a huge shout out to Megumi who bought me this. I really appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. It's the pride of my collection. Something that I found on my own that I was really excited about is this. This is Ultraman Club 4. Now, if you're a big fan of Ultraman, Ultraman is a Japanese superhero. He's the Japanese superhero. He's basically like Japan's Superman, right? Not the same story or anything like that, but how big Superman and like Batman is here in North America, Ultraman and Kamen Rider are just as big in Japan. So, I was really excited about this. When I was getting into Ultraman, I really wanted to pick up all the games, right? And I was watching YouTube one day and I saw this game where it's kind of like a Mega Man game. It's a side-scrolling, yeah, I would say the best thing to represent it is like Mega Man. It's very good, but when I was there the first time, I saw a video of this and I was so excited. So I went out and I found, hold on one sec guys, I should have done this before. Where are they? Where are they? Ultraman. So the thing is, there's 4 of these, right? And only one of them is good. Only one of them is good. The other Ultraman Club games are RPGs, and they're not very good RPGs. But I kept buying them by accident. I kept buying them because when I saw this, hey, check out this Famicom game on the Famicom, right? This Ultraman game. I just picked up the first one with Ultraman on it, and then I put it in my system and it was an RPG, and then I went back to the store and I bought a different one. I'm like, oh, this has to be it, right? And it was an RPG again, and then I went back to the store a third time and I bought another one and it was another RPG, and I was like, how many of these games are on the system, right? And then I found out that the game that I was looking for just happens to be one of the most expensive games. Like, not most expensive, but spectacularly more expensive than the other ones. I was picking up those games for maybe $5 each, right? This game, loose, is worth about $130. I didn't know that. Boxed, it's worth about $350. I didn't know that at all, but one day I finally found it. I walked into a store, I saw it, and I was like, okay, this has to be it. And I took it off the shelf and I saw the back and I saw the screens on the back, and I was so happy about it. I was so happy. I bought it, I saw the price tag on it, and I think it was a good price. I think it cost me about $110 about 2 years ago. Now on price charting, it's about $350. But this is a really fun game. It's a really fun game. If you like Mega Man, but you don't like that it's brutally difficult, you know what I mean? This would be a great game for you. This I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a hell of a lot easier than Mega Man. It's got the same kind of stage design. I would highly recommend it. Ultraman Club 4. But don't make the mistake that I did. Get Ultraman Club 4. Don't get the other 3 RPGs. They're terrible. Earlier, we talked about King Kong. So this game here is really fun. This is called King Kong Megaton Punch. At the time, it was a 2 megabyte cartridge. Wow. You know, but this is great. This is a Konami game. It's really good. Basically what you start as is your King Kong, and you're looking for your wife. Your King Kong wife has been captured, right? And you have to go through, I believe, 10 different stages and, you know, fight the final boss and everything like that of each stage. But what's great about this game is everything's destructible. So you're walking around like a helipad with you're walking around like an army base, right? And King Kong can just punch down everything. Like every piece is destructible. I think this is the first game that I've ever seen that has like a fully destructible environment. It's a lot of fun. You can also throw boulders. It's a really good game. I'm astonished that it never came out in North America. Really, check it out. Check it out. Really good game. Really good game. Another thing that I'd like to, well, you know what, let's get to this. Another thing that I'd like to point out is a lot of Famicom games, going with the imagination and stuff like that, they came with a lot of things. You could get a Famicom release in something as simple as a box like this, where it's a tiny box, and the only thing in it is it's just the size of the game, and you get like a little sheet, right? But Famicom boxes are wildly different, you know? For example, I think there's like 8 or 9 different sizes. You can get this size, you can get this size, you can get this size. You know, they're wild, right? But what a lot of them did was they would come with a lot of stuff, you know, maps, posters, character bios, character books, everything like that, really to get you involved in the experience, right? And a great example of that is this. These games, I don't know how to pronounce them. Unfortunately, if you do have the Nintendo Switch Online service, a couple of the Super Nintendo versions of these games have been released, but basically, they're war simulators. They're war simulators. One, I think, yeah, this one here, I believe, is about like Genghis Khan. This is about another Chinese war. But what they come with is they come with a lot of stuff. So not only do you get the cartridge, which is huge because it's a big game. Not only do you get the huge cartridge, but you also get a whole bunch of stuff. You get a little pamphlet full of more things that you can buy from the company. This one comes with like a book that you have to read. That talks all about the history of the war that you're fighting and everything like that. But then it gets even more into it, where you can mail off to them and they'll send you, you know, like a huge poster and stuff. And then even more stuff. This is, I guess, oh yeah. This, I believe, this was like a winning cartridge. This was a promo, kind of like the golden ticket kind of thing, and this copy happened to have it. But then it also has like a giant map. So when you're playing, you kind of know what's going on. And then on the back, it's got like you can write your own stuff in it. I think that's super cool, and it's not just the war simulator games that came with that. For example, there is a flight simulator game that has an entire, like, 4-foot layout that you can put down on your floor. It's ridiculous. There's also a game in Japan about the U.S. primary election, not the presidential election, the primary election, and it comes with a bunch of nonsense too. But those games I thought were pretty cool, and something that's neat about these games is they were unbelievably expensive when they came out. Most Famicom games were around 3,800 yen to about 5,200 yen when they came out. These games were 9,800 yen, so almost, you know, sometimes 3 times as much as a regular game. They were 4 megabyte cartridges. That was probably one of the big sell on it. But yeah, these games were very expensive. But luckily, these games are also fodder games, you know. They're games that people don't really play anymore, so if it's something that you would like to collect, then it's not hard to get into collecting them. However, if you don't speak Japanese, it's next to impossible to play them, unfortunately. A couple other boxed games that I have that I'm really proud of is, I have a boxed copy of Dragon Buster. Really fun, primitive game, but it's a good game. I have a loose copy of it, but I saw that I could buy a full copy, and this is one of the few Famicom games that actually comes in a gold cartridge, which is pretty cool. So when I found that, I scooped it up. But yeah, I'm not really a huge box collector. As you can see, maybe I have a lot of loose games. I'll show that at the end of the video. But I don't collect box stuff because, again, it's a little bit too expensive. If you follow the channel, you know that my main collection is a Nintendo 64, and that's what I collect boxed for. So I want to save my money for boxed N64 games and get those ones for cheaper. But I do have a couple loose games that I would also really like to talk about. Sorry if this video is getting a little long. To be honest with you, I'm making it for one person, so if anybody else enjoys it, then I am just so happy about this. But yeah, I want to show you guys a couple cool releases that maybe you should check out. Maybe you didn't know that they existed, you know? This is Kid Dracula. So, I believe that in North America we got a Game Boy release of it, or a Game Boy game of Kid Dracula, but essentially, in Japan, they love chibi stuff. If you don't know what chibi is, it's basically when you take a big, like Godzilla, for example, right? And you shrink them down into like a cute cartoon, you know? Small, like, yeah, and what they like to do is they like to take series that would otherwise be very mature, very, like Godzilla, you know, very mature kind of stuff, and then turn it into a cute form. So, the people over at Konami looked at Castlevania, and they were like, how do we turn Castlevania into like a cute thing, you know? And they did. They made it with Kid Dracula. So this game you actually play as the Dracula that you're fighting in Castlevania, which is really cool. But it's fun. It's kind of like a power-up hand shooter, kind of like Mega Man. It's a lot of fun. It's hard as hell. But it is a lot of fun. There was, I think, a big reason why this didn't come out. Some of the bosses in this game are just racist, you know. For example, you have a white hooded boss that has a swastika on the front of his hood, you know. Now I know that the swastika in Japan is different, you know. Remember, there's a difference between a swastika going to the right and a swastika going to the left. The Nazi one is the one going to the right. The one going to the left is, I believe, Buddhist or Shinto or something like that. But it's not what you think it is, you know. But I could definitely see why they didn't bring this to the United States, because it's the very first boss. Yeah, very funny, very funny. I don't want to show it on YouTube because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm trying my best with my channel right now. I don't want to get any problems. But yes, if you have a chance, play Kid Dracula. It's also on the Castlevania collection. If you get the Castlevania collection for I think PS4, Switch, all of that kind of stuff, it is on there. Try it out. It's a lot of fun. It would probably be better to play it on there anyway because you have save states. So try it out. It would be a lot of fun. Speaking of chibi stuff, this is Splatterhouse. Wanpaku Graffiti, I think it's called. This is Splatterhouse, and again, a very mature, more adult kind of game where you're like this not Freddy Krueger, you're like this Jason kind of monster going through, killing everybody with a big machete and stuff like that. Now, again, how do we make that into a chibi version? Well, they did. They made Jason just a little kid, and he still does go around and use a knife and chop everybody up. So I can definitely see why this game wasn't released here. I think that if this game was released, it would very much be one of the games that we heard of on the news, like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. I believe that if this came out here, having the main character have a knife, and even though the enemies and stuff are chibi, still when you cut them, they blow up into a million pieces. It's a really fun game though. It's a really fun game. This game is an anomaly to me though, because I've beaten it several times. On my own, but when I live stream this game, I don't know if it's because I'm always looking at chat, my mind is distracted with other things that are going on, I can't get past the second level in this game. I find that's very true with a lot of Famicom games, and I think that's because with the Famicom, it's very much relying on memorization of where enemies are and timing and everything like that. And when you're trying to do a live stream and look at chat and have different audio in your ear, it's tough, you know? That's why I don't play Famicom on stream that much. If anybody was wondering, it's just because I can't really play the games while I'm talking and communicating with you guys. When I do my live streams, it's not about the game that I'm playing, it's about the community, it's about hanging out, having a good time, being there for each other. The game is really just on in the background. When my style of live streaming, I don't like to just put a game on, don't talk, you know, and just play the game, right? I like to interact with everybody. So, guys, if you're watching and you're new, check out my live streams. I live stream basically every night. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so we're getting to the end of my recommendations. There's so many good games, so I'm only going to recommend a few. I don't want to overload you, but if you do see any of the games that I've shown off, other than maybe Takeshi's Challenge, if you want a good laugh by Takeshi's Challenge, but it's not a good game. This is a good game, however. This is called Hino no Tori Gao Nuboken. Very fun game, very fun game. Again, Konami. Konami knocks it out of the park on the Famicom. Amazing games. This is a very, very cool game. It's a long game, which is pretty different for a Famicom game. I usually find that I can beat a Famicom game in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. That game will take you a lot longer. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's based on a very famous manga and anime, Hinotori Ganuboken. It's very good. It's very good. I would recommend checking it out. I have a good buddy, HPR Shredder on YouTube here. I'm gonna link his video on some of these games that I've talked about, because he's made great retrospectives on some of these games. I'll list that below. Because he does a much better job than I do. He goes through all the gameplay and everything like that. Very fun game, very fun game. If you can get it, pick it up. Another cool cartridge I want to show you is this one. This is, again, Konami, but this is the only transparent Famicom game. So, Famicom, you'll notice that there's lots of different shapes of Famicom games, you know? And the reason for that is because back in the day, Nintendo actually let the publishers and the creators of the game make the cartridge. So there's lots of different varieties of different sizes, everything like that. We can go all the way from being a large cartridge that almost resembles a NES cartridge, all the way down to something small. It's all different, but because of that, you have tons of different colors cartridges, you have tons of different designs, but this one is very unique because it is see-through. You can actually see the entire... Oh, I keep all of my games in plastic covers just to keep them safe. It's the only see-through cartridge. And I think that's really cool. There's a bunch of different cartridge variations, but this one to me has to be the coolest. There's a couple games that use a gold cartridge, as I previously showed with Dragon Buster. And that's about it. Do I have anything else cool to show you? Sometimes when you're in Japan at the Gachapon machine, you can find these really neat little bags. And they're kind of the exact shape of a Famicom game. Now, I have some advice for you. So here's the game. Here's the thing. Perfect little home for it, you know? I have one piece of advice though. If you are in Japan and you find a Gachapon machine that you really enjoy, that you like I found this little pouch, you know, buy the stuff then because I bought this on like day 1 of my second Japan trip, and I looked for the vending machine all over the country, not only just in Tokyo, but all over the country, and I couldn't find another one. So if you do find something in a Gachapon machine that you really want to get, pick it up, you know, because it's probably gonna be gone. Other than that, yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put all of my games out. I'm gonna put all my games out on the floor and just do a pan with the camera. I hope you enjoy it. Other than that, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. This video was a lot of fun to make. I love talking about video games, and I love talking about the history and everything like that. So, guys, if you like videos like this, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you want, I'll keep doing these. I have a huge Nintendo 64 collection. I have a big Super Nintendo collection. I would love to show you these things. So if there's any interest, let me know. Thank you. Guys, I also have a merch company, because of course I do, guys. Check out my merch. I don't plug it that much, and I really need to start plugging it more. This video is sponsored by Osaka Seafood Concern, my merch company. Check out the stuff that is listed below underneath the video. Maybe you like it. If you buy something there, it directly supports me, and it helps my brand grow. I appreciate it. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to me. I know that this video is pretty long, but I really appreciate you. I really appreciate everything that you do for me. I love seeing you guys in the streams, and that's about it. Bye!
Thank you for watching Life of Kai. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This act is very human.